This piece is May 2nd of 1808, and it's this one right here. And this was commissioned in 1814. It was painted by Francisco Goya, and it was depicting the battle between the Spanish citizens of Madrid and the soldiers on their horses. And he just uses a very frenzied arrangement of people, horses, knives, and other objects to create this feeling of chaos that was going on during this battle. It's an oil and canvas painting, and it uses very smooth, realistic lines. The color isn't really bright, but it's very lively, and it creates this tragic and romantic scene. The actual painting is 9 by 11 feet, and it's very cluttered and chaotic. And it's, according to Whistler, it's this rebellion of Spanish people against the oppression and the invasions that they've already witnessed. Goya has a very good reputation in Spain. He's often called the greatest Spanish painter of his era. He was painting from this. He was submitting paintings in the 1760s, this is actually one of them right here. And then in 1792 he fell ill and became deaf, and the mood of his paintings kind of changed from that point. But he went on to become the first court painter for the Spanish royal family in 1799. He became the head of the Art Academy in Spain, and he really liked the fame that came along with that. And he created he created 80-some etchings of war scenes after the war broke out. The French invaded Spain in 1808, and what happened was the French kind of tricked the leaders of Spain into letting them into the country, and then once they did, they attacked, and Turkish mercs that were with the mercenaries that were with the French military were told to remove the child from the royal palace in Madrid. And when this happened, riots broke out, and these soldiers were trying to stop the riots with pretty much anything they had. The soldiers were trying to stop the riots, and citizens were attacking with pretty much anything they had. Instead of running away, they were fighting back. They had just really crude weapons. And this is the scene that he was trying to capture, and this is right as the battles broke out. And then there's another painting that goes along with this. It's the 3rd of May, 1808, and that's this one right here. It's sister painting, and this is the following morning when all of these rebels were being executed outside of town. Like I said, it was commissioned in 1814 to commemorate the fights, and it shows Spanish citizens fighting off the invaders. It's a street battle. There are people everywhere. It seems like everybody's surrounding them. They're attacking with anything they have. And there's one man right here that's wearing very nice clothes and red pants, being pulled off of a white horse. And then this guy is getting ready to stab him in the chest. And then there's someone else here that's charging forward and stabbing his horse with a dagger. And there isn't really a center of this piece, but I feel like because that's at the front, that's the part of the painting that he wanted to be seen first. I feel like that's a more important part. It's showing these citizens are taking down someone that looks very important like him and killing him. And like Whistler said, it symbolizes a country that's fed up with fighting. They've been invaded so many times that they're not so much fighting the French as they are fighting oppression. Goya's art pieces were usually very pleasant portraits and very pleasant pieces, and this is one of his early pieces, and you can see after he went deaf and after this war broke out, it transitioned from these very bright, lively pieces there's people flying kites. It's just they're having a picnic, and it's really a nice, pleasant looking scene, to scenes like this. This is one of his more popular pieces from Disasters of War, and this is an etching, and it's showing these dead bodies. There's one that's decapitated, there's an arm missing, there's an arm hanging in a tree, and it's just a very gruesome scene. And actually, this series earned him the title of the first war reporter. But after the invasion, his pieces became very dark. Um, he also transitioned into what are called the black paintings after this, and it was just a very it wasn't the Goya scenes that we were used to seeing. They were very brutal and gruesome scenes, and that's from Crazy Like a Genius videos. Goya's art fits into this time period very well. It was the same basic time as the Impressionists, and a lot of his techniques and stuff are very similar to that. And you can see it's a very realistic looking scene. He wasn't trying to it wasn't supposed to represent anything that you didn't see in the picture. It was a very representational piece. Critics often say that this isn't that great of a piece because it seems like everybody's posed. Everything's very flat, and it just doesn't seem like anything's very animated. And they say it just seems very flat. And this is also really overshadowed by May 3rd, 1808, that's down here, because that one was a lot more popular. That one had a lot more to it. And so people who will recognize May 3rd, 1808 might not even know that May 2nd, 1808 exists and that it has anything to do with that painting. In the late 30s, the Spanish Civil War was taking place, and a lot of these paintings they were trying to get them out of, they're trying to get them out of Madrid so that they didn't get damaged. And in 1938, the 2nd of May was moved from Madrid to Geneva, Switzerland. And the truck, keep in mind this is a really big, it's a 9 by 11 foot painting. And the truck that it was in a road accident, and the painting was damaged in the lower left hand corner, and the canvas was ripped, and there were even pieces of the painting missing. And it's been restored 2 times, but the damage is still very evident. And it's said that this represents another dark period in Spain, in Spanish history. As the war was going on, it was a civil war, and it was just a very brutal war. And so they're saying that this damage represents, it's an addition to Goya's piece that is another dark time in Spanish history. And that's from Ani. So anyway, this is just he captured a very chaotic scene as it transitioned from riots into a street battle. And I feel like he just captured this very well in this piece. And it symbolizes Spain revolting against oppression. They're finally standing up for themselves and fighting for what they believe in. Thank you.